Every weekend across the world, gardeners drag hoses, tear open fertilizer bags, and wonder why their soil keeps disappointing them. They water on Monday, and by Thursday the beds are dry again. They feed in spring, and by July the plants are yellowing. The cycle never ends, and neither does the expense. What if the solution was already sitting in your backyard, stacked in a pile you were planning to burn? Dead wood, fallen branches, storm debris, old logs. Most gardeners see a disposal problem. A handful of growers around the world see something else entirely: the foundation of a self-feeding, self-watering garden that improves every single year without intervention. The technique is called hügelkultur, and it has been quietly transforming barren, difficult ground into productive abundance for centuries. To understand what buried wood can actually do, you need to visit the Austrian Alps, or at least imagine them. Steep slopes, thin soils, winters that arrive early and leave reluctantly. Not exactly where you'd expect to find a thriving citrus harvest. Yet for over 2 decades, a farmer named Sepp Holzer was doing exactly that on his mountain property. Lemons, kiwis, grapes, figs. Crops that have no business surviving at altitude, ripening in abundance while neighboring farms struggled to grow basic grass. Holzer wasn't using greenhouses or hidden irrigation systems. He was burying wood. His method was straightforward but counterintuitive. He dug into his steep hillsides, packed the trenches with the largest, most decomposed logs he could find, layered branches and leaves on top, capped everything with soil, and planted directly into the mounds. Then he largely walked away. The results bewildered agricultural officials who visited, sometimes arriving with fine notices rather than cameras. Holzer's unorthodox land management drew repeated penalties from authorities convinced his ponds and earthworks would cause erosion or flooding. He paid the fines and kept building. His yields spoke for themselves. Eventually, even the inspectors put down their clipboards and picked up notebooks instead. What Holzer had tapped into wasn't a secret he invented. It was a principle as old as the forest floor itself. The core insight behind hügelkultur is almost embarrassingly simple once you understand it. Rotting wood absorbs and stores water with extraordinary efficiency. Wood is not a solid, uniform material. At the microscopic level, it's a network of channels, pores, and chambers. An architecture evolved to move water through living trees. When that wood begins to decay, those structures open up rather than collapse. Fungi thread through the fiber, bacteria break down the lignin, and the internal surface area of the log expands dramatically. The result is a material that can absorb several times its own weight in water. Studies on decomposed pine samples have recorded moisture retention at more than 5 times the dry weight of the wood. Decomposed hardwood behaves similarly. And because hardwoods break down more slowly, that capacity persists for far longer. Buried beneath a foot or two of soil, a layer of logs becomes a hidden reservoir. Rain and snowmelt percolate down and are captured. During dry summer weeks when surface soil turns to dust and neighboring gardens wilt, the buried wood slowly releases that stored moisture upward to plant roots. Moisture probes inserted into established hügelkultur beds regularly show 40 to 60% soil moisture during drought conditions, levels that would be unachievable in flat, unamended beds without continuous irrigation. This is why practitioners across climates consistently report the same experience. After the first year or two of establishment, the Jose becomes optional, not as a theory, as a lived reality. Water storage is only one part of what happens beneath a hügelkultur mound. Decomposition is an exothermic process, meaning it releases heat. As microbes consume the buried wood, they generate warmth that radiates outward into the surrounding soil. In a well-built mound, this effect is measurable. Soil temperatures inside the mound can run several degrees warmer than the air above or the flat ground beside it. For gardeners, This has practical consequences. Seeds germinate earlier in spring because the soil is ready sooner. Young transplants survived late frosts that would damage or kill plants in conventional beds. In autumn, the growing season extends as the ground holds its warmth longer than exposed soil ever could. This is precisely how Holzer was producing citrus in an alpine environment. The mounds didn't just water his trees, they heated the root zone, creating a microclimate far more hospitable than the surrounding terrain suggested was possible. And critically, this heat is not a one-season phenomenon. As long as decomposition continues, the warmth continues. With hardwood logs at the core, that process can span 20 years or more. The third gift buried wood offers is the one that unfolds most slowly and most generously. As logs decompose, they release nitrogen, phosphorus, calcium, and trace minerals into the surrounding soil at a pace governed by microbial activity rather than a bag's label. There are no sudden flushes of fertility followed by depletion. Instead, the nutrient release is gradual, steady, and matched to the pace at which plants can actually use it. Fungi are central to this process. Mycelial networks colonize the rotting wood and extend outward through the soil, forming pathways that move minerals from the heart of the mound directly to plant roots. Earthworms, attracted by the moisture and the softening wood, tunnel through the lower layers, mixing and enriching as they go. What begins as a pile of dead wood becomes, over years, an ecosystem, layered, diverse, and increasingly productive. Long-term trials and practitioner accounts consistently confirm that the fertility of a well-built hügelkultur bed improves rather than declines over the first decade. By year 10, soil pulled from the core of an established mound tests significantly higher in organic matter and available nutrients than the surrounding ground. This is the opposite of how conventional amended beds behave. Most raised beds require annual inputs to maintain their productivity. Hügelkultur mounds become more productive on their own. The building process matters, and one mistake in particular catches beginners out. Fresh logs are hungry. As wood begins to break down, microbes need nitrogen to fuel their work, and if you don't supply it, they'll take it from your plants. The result is yellowing leaves, stunted growth, and a bed that seems to actively resist you. This nitrogen drawdown is temporary, but it can derail an entire first season if you're not prepared for it. The fix is simple. Layer nitrogen-rich material between your logs and your topsoil. Grass clippings, fresh manure, finished. Compost or any green material will do. This feeds the microbial community through the early breakdown phase and keeps your plants from suffering the deficit. Beyond that, the construction is forgiving. Stack the largest, most decomposed logs you can source at the base. Fill gaps with branches and woody debris. Add your nitrogen layer generously. Cap with good topsoil and a thick mulch. Water well through the first growing season, and then, in the truest sense, let the wood do its work. The buried logs won't ask for attention. They'll absorb your rain, release it slowly through drought, warm the root zone through cold nights, and feed the soil for longer than most garden beds last. Every branch you bury instead of burning is an investment in ground that will outlast your memory of planting it. The soil doesn't forget what you give it. The question is simply what you choose to give.